How you grieving? Today we are sitting down with DJ. DJ is a singer, a songwriter, a background vocalist, a content creator, and a TV personality. So in this conversation, of course, we're going to talk about grief, we're going to talk about healing, his creativity, and the stories behind his album, A Soul Without a Heart. DJ shares how life experiences, emotions, and personal growth have influenced his music and the message he hopes listeners take away from it. And after you listen to this episode, make sure you stream, purchase, and download A Soul Without a Heart. Let's get into it. DJ, welcome to How You Grievin the podcast. I'm really happy
Thank
to
you for
have you
having
here.
me. I'm glad to be here.
For the people watching, there was a retake.
Yes. We were deep in the conversation and didn't realize we weren't even filming. That's how you know.
Obviously, that's up to me. But I was talking about A Soul Without a Heart. And when I listened to this album from number one all the way to number 17, I was able to just play it through. Before we realized we weren't recording, I was telling DJ that I really fucking enjoyed the album. Excuse my language, but it was really good.
Thank
And
you.
I was saying how I'm hesitant because I call myself like I love music. It's just dear to me. Like I love it. I can sing along and I can kind of like figure out what the next word gonna be in the vocals. So thank you for this album.
Thank you for even giving it a chance. Like I was telling you before we got cut off, there was a person I was trying to bring onto my team from marketing, and they were just like, "You need to go back and do this whole album again. You need to record the whole thing over again." I don't hear any love making songs. I don't hear any songs I can play on the way to the club. I don't have a two-step song. On this particular song, I want you to give me what Tamar Braxton gives me, or on this song, I want you to give me what Chris Brown gives me. And I'm like, this to in from my perspective, I'm like, this has been the problem.
Yeah.
This has been it. This has been the problem. You want me to sound like everybody else. I want to sound like me. And I think that's the problem when we talk about today's music. Everybody sounds like everybody. There's no real
Individuality.
individuality. There's nothing unique. I can't listen to, I'm not even gonna call any names, but if I hear a particular song, it's like, oh, I can hear, five different people in this one line, or I can hear five different people singing this one song. And there's nothing unique that's out right now. And so with this album, it was intentional for me to do it my own way,
Yeah.
even if we're singing about something that's common. Do it my own way, but be authentic with it. And that's what I was looking for. So thank you for your feedback about the album.
Yeah. You were very authentic.
Thank you.
Down to the nitty gritty. Okay.
Thank you. I feel like if you can't be honest anywhere else, be honest in your music, because people can read that. And regardless of what it is, living your truth. There's somebody out there that's living that same truth.
Living that same truth. And I swear you wrote some songs about me.
I've been hearing that since it came out, and the people are like, "Have you been reading my diary?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I was in this bad relationship that later I discovered wasn't even a relationship. I could have left whenever I got ready, but you have to go through those things in order to realize that." And I literally was writing from my own experience.
So you were in a relate. We're just gonna get into it now. You were in a
Yeah, we just gonna get
relationship.
into it.
You were in a
I was
relationship.
with somebody
Yes.
that I was never with. I spent about 8 or 9 years with this person and was never with them. Spent 8 or 9 years with this person, trying to show improve, trying to show up, being present, birthdays, holidays, Valentine's days, all of that. Like, I was present. And I just didn't pick up on the cues. Did not pick up on the cues, did not pick up on the subtle signs that, hey babe, you can be a hoe if you want to. Like, hey babe, you can go and date that one if
Yeah.
you want to, or you can go date them if you want to. Like, there's no commitment here. And I think that was a era of trying to make something or make nothing into something. I think that was an era of staying too long. But it also was an era that taught me that you can be with somebody and you both want the exact same thing. They just don't want it with you. They just don't want it with you. And that's okay. And that's
And
okay.
yeah, that's okay. But it's also interesting how the person keeps you around. Like, although we have the right to leave and do this and do that, but it's also interesting how the person that's doing the work keeps you
Mhm.
there for
Have you
some.
ever seen a giver say stop giving? As long as you giving and they're benefiting from it, they're never gonna say stop. Because that shoots them in the foot. They've exposed their hand at that point. So they're gonna keep on draining you of what you have. Your whole life is in the overdraft. Your whole life is in the overdraft. But they're still benefiting from it. End of my rope. So, I'm just saying, like, and then you have that moment where it's like they do that one thing, whatever it is, and it could be anything. It
Yeah,
could be,
yeah,
they slept with your daddy, they gave you herpes. It could be they went and had a kid on you. Whatever it is, this moment happens that causes you to wake up, and it's like,
yeah.
why continue to give love or energy to a situation or a person who won't even give me a reason to stay? Why am I here? What is the purpose of me being here?
So the main topic of the podcast is, so we just need to ask the question now, because I feel like if I don't ask it, we gonna go somewhere else.
Woo! Listen,
we
I've grieved this relationship already. We've grieved it, buried it. This individual has been buried literally, but we've done it all. We've
This
lived through it. So this
individual. Okay, wait. Hi, thank you for listening to How You Grievin. Thank you for watching How You Grievin. Also, why haven't you subscribed yet? Why haven't you liked this episode? Why haven't you commented on this episode? And why haven't you shared it yet? What are you doing? You ain't got nothing else to do. Gas prices is high, so you need to be in the house, and food costs too goddamn much for you to be outside parlaying. So you need to be in the house cooking. And while you're doing that, you could be watching this episode and clicking and doing something. Okay? Thank you for watching. I love you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Melissa.
And I'm Athena.
And we are the proud owners of Lip Lock LLC. You can follow us on Instagram. We just are so proud and honored to be a sponsor for the My Black Selves, How You Grievin podcast. And just remember, you can follow him on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and comment.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. And just know that even though you are grieving, you have a place to reach out to talk to somebody, and we are so proud of you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Creative, the CEO of Eastern Creative Agency, and I'm super proud that I am able to sponsor How You Grievin, the podcast by Malcolm, My Black Self. It has been a wonderful process with him. I actually just did a show with him. Make sure you guys support, share, and repost, as his podcast is something that is all about healing. We're proud to sponsor. Eastern Creative Agency is very proud. See y'all later.
The individual has passed?
Yes, this
Okay.
individual passed. I was working, this is so off subject. This is such a roundabout. I was working on a spinoff.
Uh-huh.
I had done this reality show on the way up Atlanta, season 3.
Yeah.
And I was working on this spinoff. And it was literally the first day of filming. I was in a session with my vocal coach, and one of my good friends, who is mutual friends with this person, called me and was like, I think you need to just check. I don't know what's going on over there, but it doesn't seem like it's good. And when you're caught up in your own thing, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'll get to it, when I
Yeah,
get to it.
absolutely.
And so we wrap filming, and I go to my car and I'm texting, and I was just like, hey, something just fell on me just to check on you. I wanted to make sure you were good. And the person who had their phone was like, yeah. You're a couple of hours late. They passed around 12 o'clock. Woo, 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 woo. We're getting service information together now if you want to come. And I was like, oh, okay. And of course, I've never lost anybody that I had relations with. So this is something I'm having to navigate on my own. And we were sitting in the studio later on that evening and had a couple people over just to kind of hear the album and kind of get some feedback or whatever. And we were playing the song End of My Rope, and I sat in the corner and I just bawled. And I was like, is it possible to still have feelings for a person that has died and went on? And I was like, I guess it is. Huh.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah,
At least you
because
know it was genuine.
yeah, grief. I feel like grief is mainly about love. Like you don't grieve people you don't love or didn't have love for. You know what I mean? Like extensively at least.
Mhm.
Um, but how you grieving in regards to this album because you have a song
Mhm.
and I don't well we got to jump in it now, but and it's about your father
Yes.
and it's so good.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to write that particular song at this time?
I needed, I was trying to round my album out. I didn't want it to just be about this relationship. I didn't want it to just be about, the drama therein. It was already a dark album. And I wanted to do something that I didn't normally do. I don't normally write songs, specifically sentimental pieces about family, whether it be grandmother, mom, brother. And it was around the time my father had just passed, and I was looking for an outlet. I was looking for something to hold on to because I felt like I just didn't have anything at that moment. And I will tell anybody losing a parent is different. It's different from, losing a grandparent or, losing a friend or somebody you went to school with. That's totally different. We're talking about somebody who either helped bring you in this world or somebody who brought you in this world.
Yeah,
And that's a different type of grief. And I think some of the elements from this album, like I said, specifically the song about my dad, as well as a couple of others, stem from that era. And I wanted to do something that was commemorative. I wanted to do something that I could say, I did this. This was my contribution. I carried a little bit of guilt when my father passed. I was like, was he proud of me? Like, because I didn't do this and I didn't do that. Like, was I a disappointment? Like, I carried all of those things, and that writing that song kind of helped bring me the peace. It forced me to remember some things that I didn't want to, because sometimes good memories hurt too.
absolutely.
And so I didn't, it forced me to kind of go through this journey of remembering, to say the least. I had to remember, good stuff. You would come and have school lunch with me, or when we would go on fishing trips, somehow or another, I'd always end up in the lake, or when I wanted to do certain things and my mom would say no, like he would always somehow or another convince her to let me do those things. But then
Yeah,
it was also the moments when you think about life lessons, you think about, um, situations that you might have found yourself in, and what would my daddy do in this situation? Or what would my daddy say in this situation? Or I remember my daddy used to tell me about this, or there's an old saying, a cow will need its tail come fly time. And so that's like, even when you think about those things, and it's like, God, like I wish I could call my daddy and tell him what I finally figured out what it means. So you have those moments, and when you're writing a song like Forever, it forces you to laugh, it forces you to cry, it forces you to purge. And so that's kind of where I found my healing in that. That's where I found my peace. Um, with him transitioning. That was where I found my peace in writing that record.
side note, did you clock out?
I'm glad you remember because I didn't. Look, I'm glad you remember because I didn't. All right, let's see. And we're clocked out. All righty.
See, I'm good for something. Okay,
Yes,
I am good for something.
yes, and we're back.
How long did it take you to write the song Forever?
So right forever, it probably took me 30 minutes. I was
30
on my
minutes?
way. I was in the car, and I had this track, and I had been sitting with it for a while. And I said, on this album, I wanted to do something to commemorate my father.
Yeah.
And I sat with it for a minute because I knew somebody potentially would feel away. Oh, well, you never wrote a song about me, or any of that. And I wanted to get all of that out of my space before I even began to write anything. And I was riding down the interstate, and I was just like, today is Father's Day, isn't it? Huh?
Huh.
And I do feel away. Hmm. Woke up this morning, it was Father's Day. Tough to believe that I still feel away. Huh? Looking at your face in this spring. And I was like, let me pull over at McDonald's. I want to get me something to eat. All right, cool. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, hmm. I know that you, and it just kind of flowed, and it's very rare that songs come to me like that. But with
Yeah.
this particular body of work, that was one of the few that did come to me, and I was able to finish it in a short period of time compared to some of the others.
Wow, that's pretty dope. That means he was like, "All right, son, let's get this song out." Let's.
Listen, I was like, I have to have something for me, and I wanted to do something that was special. I wanted to do something that was special, and now I'm looking at my mom and my brother like, okay, well, I guess I got to write something for them too. Uh,
No.
but that one specifically it meant something. This album meant something, and I was like, if I'm gonna do anything, let's do material that means something.
Well, I love it.
Thank you.
I'm probably not gonna listen to it again though because I'm at war with my father right now. We got some,
Okay. It's all right. Listen, things happen. Life happens.
you know.
But we move through it, and I don't know what the circumstances are or what the situation is, but I really do hope that you do get to a place where you both can at least come to a common ground, because people don't last forever, and I think for me that was more my thing.
Yeah,
And that's been more of my driving force in this day and age. People don't last forever.
they sure
um
don't. We do not.
People don't last forever, and you can say something with all intent, and then next minute they are no longer here. And
Uh,
so you have to be careful with how you treat people, but you also have to be careful with your word choice. So
yes, you do. We're gonna bounce around. We're gonna
yeah,
bounce
we
around.
that's okay.
Okay. Who are your musical influences?
Ooh, my musical influences. I have so many because I listen. I don't just listen for vocals. I listen for sounds. I listen for rhythm. So it's a handful of people. We be here all day. But I will
So
say people that I
name
listen to regularly.
name three, and they don't have to be in a specific order because that's hard when you love music and you're an artist. So you can just name
Yes.
three that just come off the top off your tongue.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. They're probably gonna crucify me for one of these, but I will say Mariah Carey.
Okay.
I will say Whitney Houston,
Yes.
and I'm gonna say R. Kelly.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I knew they're gonna crucify me for Robert. I know they
No,
are.
I mean, at the end of the day, people have to understand. Robert Kelly,
Is a genius.
he is a genius and
He's
he
a
was a
genius.
part of our childhood and adulthood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, it's the influence is just there. Like, you can't erase that influence. Like, I don't know how you would be able to,
Yeah.
you
I,
know?
I love Robert, and just all that he has contributed to the industry of music. He can do no wrong musically. I do not agree with his other actions, but he can do no wrong musically.
Like I told you earlier, listening to your album, it was definitely some things I could relate to. I want you to tell me more about No Projects.
Ooh, okay. So for starters, No Projects is probably the oldest song on this album. Um, it is one of my favorites. I remember, I remember. All right, I'm gonna give you. I told you I was gonna give you guys everything. So I remember working security at a gentleman's club. I
How?
was sitting in my car. I was
You
in the
gonna
back.
okay,
I was
wait. I'm sorry to cut you off. You gonna tell us what gentleman's club you was working at?
I was working at a facility called the Den. They are no longer active.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I was sitting in the back. I was sitting in my car, and I had this beat, and I was sitting there, and I was just like, I don't have a song like this where I detail what I want in a relationship. Um, at the time, it wasn't even a hot song, but it existed. You had Latoya Luckett's "Good to Me." You had a slew of other songs that kind of fit into that vein, and I was just like, I don't have that type of song. And me being as eccentric as an artist as that I am, I'm just like, how can I create this and it makes sense to the people?
Yeah.
And I remember being in a therapy session shortly there or short prior to that, being in a therapy session with my therapist, and she had me make a list of all the things that I wanted in a partner, and she had me make a list of all the things I didn't want. And that's literally how I said and wrote that song. And I was just like, I do not want to be with somebody who is married. We have married people in the dating pool now. I don't know why. Like, what are they doing there?
They're
And so
actively dating, by the way.
I mean, actively dating.
Yes.
Like you got a whole wife over here, but you trying to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend and be somebody's sugar baby over there. Make it make sense, baby. Make it make sense. I don't knock the people for what they do. I just don't want that. That's I don't see myself showing up to PTO meeting with somebody else's spouse
Ooh.
on my arm. I'm just saying,
Ooh.
I don't want to be with somebody that is unhealed. I don't want to be with somebody that is a gaslighter or someone who is not accountable for the things that they do, a master manipulator, physically abusive or abusive in any form. I don't want to do that. And I made sure, even in writing the hook, what I spoke about like my ex, I don't want another regret. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I don't want to date any of my exes again. And I don't want to see any of their characteristics in anybody that I'm trying to be with. So that was the whole premise of the song.
Baby.
It's a lot of projects out here. And I can say that because I remember my project era where it was like, you got some stuff going on with you that you need to address. And it's easy to not want to address that. It's easy to surround yourself with people that are going to co-sign your toxic ways. That's easy.
What do you say to the unhealed right now?
Give yourself grace because we all go through a period of not knowing. We all go through a period of denial. We all go through that period of I don't need help. There's nothing wrong with me and there's nothing wrong with my behavior. You know that combative spirit. We all go through that. But at some point, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and take ownership of your stuff. Because the more you avoid your stuff, I said it in the song. I said it if you want to go, don't want a miscommunication. But if you want to go, then show me something. If you ever want to walk, what did I say? If you ever want to talk, we can talk about what it is. I'll leave you alone to see what you do about it. If you want to walk, there's the door, but running away won't change a thing. That was the line. Running away from your stuff. Running away from your stuff is not going to change anything because your stuff will meet you at every stop, block, corner. Ain't no what did Mama Joy say? Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough to keep your stuff from meeting you where you are until you acknowledge it, until you give it a name, because you got to give it a name.
Yeah.
You got to call it something. Trauma, drama, whatever. You got to call it something and you have to address it. Healing is a lifelong journey. But as John Legend said in that one song, you won't know and you won't grow unless you start. You got to start.
Johnny.
Listen, when I said the moment I heard that song, my life got better. You won't know. What's the hook say? I don't know where this road will lead. I don't know if I'll break your heart. I don't know if the winds will blow, but we won't know and we won't grow unless we start.
And that's
From the Obama movie.
what's the name of that song? Is it over?
Start.
Huh?
It's called Start.
Because I'm over here putting it with a whole nother song in my head. I'm like, yeah. But that is so true. A lot of people are out here dating and they're broken. They're just unhealed and they have no idea that they're broken and unhealed because they've been doing the same thing, right in that same playbook and doing the same thing to folks and feeling the same way, and they just have no idea. I dated somebody that was broken and unhealed, and it's it's sad. It's very sad.
It's routine.
Yeah,
It's
it's
routine, and you have to give them grace because nobody's ever told them this is improper or the way that you're handling people is ruining them. Nobody's ever told them that. I'll even go you a step further. You have adults right now that don't even know by their parents that they are wanted and loved. We have to start you have to start somewhere, and I think with a lot of people they have to start there. You grew up in a household where you were known where you were told that you were a mistake. Your mama never told you she loved you. She wasn't big on soft words, and your daddy never hugged you because he wasn't there half the time. So like, it's not your fault. But what is your fault is the fact that you refuse to acknowledge what is, acknowledging that there is something going on with you, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, and finding somebody that's willing to help you unpack your stuff. Sometimes the person that's willing to help you unpack is not a boyfriend, it's not a girlfriend, it's not a spouse, it's a therapist, it's a professional. And sometimes you got to try
professional.
a couple of professionals before you get the right one. Date your therapist.
You really got to date, and people think you don't have to say yes to the first one.
No.
No, you do not have to say yes. You can date a few because you get that free
Yeah.
consultation. So
Yeah.
definitely take advantage of that. When did you get into
Please.
therapy?
I got into therapy 2017, matter of fact. Got into therapy right after my dad died because I didn't know, and just being very honest, didn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
Was out here doing a whole bunch of stuff I ain't had no business doing. Bed hopping and pill popping.
Yeah.
And literally was just out here looking for the next part because none of us ever expect to lose our parents when we lose them. We know it's coming, right?
Yeah.
But we don't expect to lose them when we lose them. And oftentimes when we lose them, we are not prepared to lose them. In my instance, I had just seen my dad an hour or two before he transitioned, and everything was fine. It was like, I'm gonna see you on Wednesday. And then here I go get a phone call a couple of hours later. I'm sitting at work and it's like, yeah, we wish you never left. You might want to come back. Cause yeah. And so it happens and everything's happening so fast. And it's like you get caught up in that spiral. It's easy to get caught up in the spiral. And I needed to get in therapy because I saw myself going down a path that I didn't want to go down. I saw myself developing some habits that
Yeah.
really could have hindered my future and limited my life. So I needed to get in therapy and needed to be in a different setting with someone who was not just going to give me a safe space, but also give me a soft space.
I had kind of the same experience when I was just like, okay, like if I don't get into therapy, I'll be dead somewhere.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You're in a relationship with somebody that's abusing you. You just lost a parent. You feel like you have no support. Life goes on. Life happens to everybody. So sometimes people are too consumed in their stuff to be involved in what you got going on.
yeah,
So you can feel alone. You can feel the things that we oftentimes try to suppress with substances, alcohol, sex, gambling, you name it. You know
whatever.
what I mean? And so that's what I mean. Like, it's okay to own those things. It's okay to give those things a name, but it's also okay to get help for those things.
So since we're here,
Mhm. We're gonna talk about the things.
I am only now I'm asking because of that's just the type of podcast this is.
Of course.
Um, how did your father pass?
My father had liver cancer for 8 years. My father was only supposed to live for two
Wow.
of those eight, and the Lord gave him an additional six. I can be mad and and throw a whole tantrum, but I can also see the light in it because The 2 years that he was given could have been one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it could have been a situation where I never knew my dad. Like he didn't know his. You know, it could have very well been a situation where we were on bad terms and I had said something that I never got an opportunity to apologize for and I'm still living with the guilt. You know what I mean? Like it could have been all of those things, but I choose to see it like he was blessed with an additional 6. He was present. He was happy. He was at peace. You know, I spent time with him. I did what I could. I truly did the best that I could, and I did not abuse. You know, you have some people, they abuse their parents when they're in those
Yes.
settings. I did
Yes.
that wasn't my situation, and I have no regrets about that or about our relationship. And I think that's another thing that kind of gives me peace. We were great.
That's
The
beautiful.
last thing I said to him was, "I love you." He said, "I love you," and I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, cool. I'm gonna be safe going up the road.
Yeah.
Some people don't even get that. So I got more than your average person. So all I can say is God gets the glory in that.
I feel like there is a certain level of peace when you actually get to say, I like when those are your last words. When I love you is your last word, or like I'll see you later, or like when you actually get to say those things to somebody, I feel like there's a certain level of peace. So I am happy that you were able to have that exchange with him. What is one of, because I know there's many, but I'm sure one will come to your head right away. What is one of the great memories that you have of him?
One of the great memories that I have of my dad, oh God, I have so many, but one that constantly replays. And I have to say this because my brother is getting married in a couple of months, and I'm so excited for him to become a father because I don't know if I'm gonna have any kids, but I don't know if I'm gonna have any kids, but these are moments that I look forward to having with my nieces and nephews. My dad and I went on a road trip, and I don't know where the movie Casper comes into play, but it comes into play in some aspect of this.
Yes.
But we were riding down the road, and the song is "Benny and the Jets" by Elton John. This is my introduction to Elton John. That is literally my favorite song by Elton John. So when Mary J. Blige did it, I was like, "Benny and the Jets," you know. So, but we're riding down the road, and we're playing Benny and the Jets in my dad's Volvo, and it was this cream colored Volvo with brown seats. I remember that. They had, what was it? It was like the beaded seat coverings because this was like early 90s. It's like
Uh,
93, 94. And we were riding down the street and Benny and the Jets was on. And I was like, play it again. And he's like, we've played this song like 8 times already. I said, I know, just play it one more time. Like, I gotta hear this one. I gotta hear this one part. And so that is one of the fondest memories because my daddy was a musician. And so we had that in common. I
yeah,
got a lot of my musicality. I get it from both of my parents, but I think the vocal aspect and my appreciation for different sounds, I think I get that from my dad.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's funny that that memory comes from like as you were a child.
Hmm.
That's very interesting because when I think of mine, I think of memories as a child as well. In
Yeah.
this big old adult age with so many more,
Yeah.
but you think of the child memories.
Think about conversations we used to have. Grade school on up about, yeah, like I want to get in the studio and I need you to pay for my studio time so I can do my demo. And then we're gonna shop the demo off to Aristo, whatever. And then I'm gonna be up there famous with Whitney Houston and such. You
Period.
know, like it's gonna be big. Like you have all these dreams, and then he's just like, okay, so let me bring you down to reality real quick.
Yes,
Do you write your own songs? If so, I need to hear what I'm paying for. And then two, like learn the business. Know what industry you're trying to get into. And it felt like discouragement at the time, but I did not in my childlike mind, I did not know that my parents had a life before me too. I didn't even, that was
Yeah.
never even the consideration. My parents had a whole life before me. So you don't know what their experience has been, and you don't know what they're trying to impart into you. It's not that they're trying to discourage you, and it's not that they don't believe in what you're doing. It's just that they've seen what it can do, and the pitfalls that are that you can't see. You just see the glitz and the glam and the beautiful stuff. They see the road to the glitz and the glam, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, let me just let you know this is what is.
I think that is something to touch on because there's a lot of people out here that have the knowledge of
Mhm.
whatever it is you may want to experience or thinking about doing or joining or whatever. And sometimes you get in your head and you're like, these folks can't tell me nothing. And deep down inside, these folks done did it, done succeeded at it, or have at least tried it, maybe did not succeed, but can tell you something. And I feel like me as a kid, or even kids nowadays, have a hard time listening and taking
Yeah,
it
we
in.
get it.
Even as my adult age now, sometimes I have to be like, oh, you've been through this before. You can tell me what's going on. So I think that's very interesting that you touched on that. So
I feel like Unc in a lot of ways when I come across. Uh, they're kids to me in their 20s, but when I come across those kids and it's like, don't do that because or this is what it means when a guy says this, or this is what it means when a guy does this, and they're just
yeah.
like, that ain't what it means, he loved me. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then they circle back and it's like, he broke my heart and now I'm pregnant. It's like, I tried to tell you, babe, now what are you gonna do now?
What are you gonna
what
do
what are you gonna
now?
do now?
And it sucks because we
It
always have to
sucks.
get to the point of what am I gonna do now? If I just would have listened. So people out there, just listen. Take it in and give yourself grace. Let these people tell you what they know. Stop it.
Listen, I hang around older people. I love to go down to the nursing home and talk to, the older people because they have stories that you are not going to find in a book. They can tell you some stuff. These people can tell you some stuff. They've lived. I never forget I was talking to this one lady. She was just like, y'all don't know. Y'all think y'all got it made. Y'all think y'all got it made. You get to drive your car. You get to do what you want. You get to walk in these stores like it's nobody's tomorrow, like you own it. But not too long ago,
Yeah.
not long ago, there was a time where you couldn't even use the same restroom as some of these people. You haven't overcome like you think you have. And when they put it into perspective like that, it's like 50, 60 years wasn't that long ago.
It was not that long ago. My like the things that I think about when people think we got it all, or like even when people look at me and be like, you got it all together, you this, you that. And I'm like, whoa. I think of my grandmother that was born here in Macon, Georgia. And I
We might
remember,
have some kin down there. Let me find out.
I'm sure we do.
Albany is my neck of the woods, so I know Albany real well.
she she used to tell me stories about because she had to walk to school. Like, and she wanted an education, so she had to go get it, right? But the white kids used to be on a bus and they would spit at them. Like, so when I hear certain stories and things just about times that are happening today, I always bring that back in my mind. Like, okay, well, this wasn't too long ago. So, like, know your roots, Malcolm.
Know your roots.
Know your
They
roots.
had a fight. They had endurance. Things that a lot of people of our culture do not. They can't even fathom what those things are.
Yeah, it's sad because those stories are about to go away
Yeah,
from like one on one.
yeah,
They're going to be told through us now.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Those are dying stories because a lot of us don't want to know.
Yeah. And our
We're
history,
too involved in social media. We don't want to know that stuff.
yeah, our history is being erased at this time too. So it's just like, damn.
They don't even realize and it's the craziest thing because I say this often. The things that don't matter are not going to be the things that save you in the long run. Y'all are caught up in what's going on in the media right now. Cardi B is celebrating Stephon Diggs' team going to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah.
You know, we have baddies and we have what is it, Hot Boys of whatever, or
I don't know.
the Bad Boys Pub, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah,
that stuff is entertaining, right? And that's fine. But entertainment is not gonna save your ass.
it ain't.
They are literally stripping your rights right now. They are hoping that they are trying to distract the people right now so they don't get out and vote for midterms. By the way, y'all get out there and go vote for midterms. I'll see you there. Cause you gotta make some changes or else it's gonna be worse than it is now. And
Yeah,
they don't even see it.
and they're coming for our voting rights as well. Now we've been saying this too, but it's actually happening.
It's actually happening. If you think this man can strip away women's rights, abortion rights too,
Yeah,
what makes you think black people will no longer be able to vote? You'll be sitting in the back of the bus talking about some, yeah, okay,
my son, what
okay.
happened? So, how long did it take you to write this album?
You're actually the first person that's asked me that. I've been working on this album on and off since 2013. I
Wow.
put out the Colors record
Uh-huh.
December 31st of 2013, and I instantly started working on this right after because I wanted to keep the sound of Colors continuous. And I was just like, I'm going to do another 10 records, one ballad, 10 club songs, and we're out of here, you know. And then situation happened with this individual, and it was like everything that would happen became a song. The demise of it, the beautiful parts, the parts that were uncomfortable. Like, when I think about even, and like I said, I've healed and grown past it, but when I think about the person that I was at that time, somebody who was so eager for love and wanting to be involved with another person, I would definitely go back to that person, and the person I am now would go back to that person and be like, "Babe, you do realize you can leave. You don't have to sit through this. Like, this humiliation here, these tears, these back and forths, these feeling like you can't say nothing, or this feeling like you can't defend yourself. Like, you can get up and leave. If you leave this relationship, I promise you, you will live to see tomorrow. Matter of fact, you're gonna live to see the next decade. Like, and then some. Like, this is not gonna kill you if you leave it. But at that time,
You
you
didn't
can't
know.
change what you don't know.
You didn't know.
So didn't know. Didn't know.
Well, I'm glad you made it out of that experience.
God is good. God is good. I could listen, it was a trek trying to get up out of there, but when I was done, I was
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
When I was done, I was done. And you start, of course, on your way out of it, you start looking for reasons to stay. And it's like, oh well, this person reminds me of my mom, or this person reminds me of the way that my dad loves my mom, or whatever. This person exemplifies all the things on my list, but the mistreatment isn't on your list.
It's
The
not.
humiliation isn't on your list. The embarrassment isn't on your list. The abuse is not on your list.
Yeah.
Like, the mind control is not on your list. Like,
You
come on now. You're giving excuses.
also there are people out there who stay in relationships because they've seen that type of relationship as well, or not even throughout their entire life, but a friend they know or a sister, a brother has experienced this type of relationship, so they stay in it to see if they can change the person or if things can be different, or like, okay, this person reminds me of that person that dated them, but I can change this person. And I just
I
want to
had
let
to
y'all know
learn
it's
their
not.
relationship is not yours.
It's not.
You don't know what they going through over there.
Yeah.
You don't know. You do not know. They can have a whole sex dungeon and somebody could be tied up for days on cocaine. You just don't know. You don't know what the people got going on over there. Focus on your own yard. And another thing, just because the grass look green on the other side don't mean that's what it is. It could be turf. It could be turf, baby. The cheap kind.
It could be turf, dog, piss, all in it. Okay.
Listen, It's turf, the cheap kind. Okay, like listen, I'm just saying you don't know what them people got going on over there. They make it look real good for the cameras.
Want you to speak on something. And it's a song you have about the head. And we don't necessarily have to speak on it like sexually, but it is something that we do need to discuss. And we can't just let this song be on your album and not talk about it.
So thinking with my head is actually what you think it is.
Yes.
I was thinking with my male parts and not my common sense. And it's a double entendre because yes, in my instance, me thinking with my male parts cost me a potential relationship. It cost me the trust in this situation. It cost me a friendship because the song prior to that is "Sex with My Best Friend's Ex." So it's a story. Um, and so thinking with my male parts, got me that result. But for anybody else, not just thinking with your parts, but also not using your common sense can cost you your life. It can cost you your livelihood. It can cost you your freedom. It can cost you, this hot girl era or a hot boy era that you think you living in. Thinking with your parts can get you a baby that you didn't plan for. Thinking with your parts can get you incurable STD or infection. You know what I mean? A slew of things can go wrong when you're thinking with your parts and not your brain, or thinking with whatever and thinking with lust, or thinking with you know whatever, and you're not thinking with your smarts. Be smart about this stuff. Life gets real and life comes I mean, like I said, I was thinking about my situation, but to anybody that's listening, the overall message in the song is be smart. Life comes at you fast. And sometimes we make irrational and irresponsible choices off of impulse. But be mindful of the choices that you make. If it didn't work last time, 9 times out of 10, you scheming ain't gonna work this time.
You
Be
said
honest.
it. Be honest.
Be honest.
Be honest with
But that's
yourself.
another thing when we talk about healing. People don't want to be honest. People don't want to be honest with everybody. They don't want to be honest with them, and they don't want to be honest with themselves either.
And those
You
the
gotta be
people.
honest.
You cannot trust those folks.
You gotta be honest. You can't trust nobody else. Trust yourself. Be honest.
What? You already told us. I think you said Forever was one of your faves.
Forever is it has been it's one of my favorites because I wrote it,
Yeah.
but up until recently it was a challenging song to listen to
Okay.
for obvious reasons. But I've recently gotten to a place where I'm like, okay, I can play this. I'm not gonna play it on the way to church on Sunday, but I can play this and be okay. I think I'm at a point now where I'm like, I can sing this live and be okay. So this may end up in my live show. But yes,
When is the live show?
it is coming this spring, summer.
Okay.
Stay tuned. I will keep you posted. I just might. I don't know. I just might have you host it. We'll see.
Ooh.
We'll
Come
see.
on. Come
We'll
on.
see.
That
We'll see.
sounds fun. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
We are going to go into, I'm just going to ask you about 5 questions before we wrap up. And now I stole this question.
Okay.
I got to tell the people where I stole it from. I stole it
Okay.
from Angie Martinez in the In Real Life podcast.
Okay.
It's a question that she asked Mary J. And she's asked other people, I believe, but I finally saw her like ask Mary J this question. Um, and I'm just going to start with this one.
Okay.
If God were to text you right now, DiiJai, what would it say today?
If God were to text me right now, what would he say? Go sing. He say go sing. He be like, get your tail out that house and go sing. I don't care where you do it. Go do it. Because I put you last year was a MF. I'm trying not to cuss on this show because I cuss like a sailor. But last year was a MF. This year,
Yeah.
get out there and go sing. You have, you've lived through this amazing album. This is your life in audio form. They're just listening to it. It's old to you, but new to them. Get out there, go sing, go
Wow.
push that album.
Okay.
There's some other things that he would say, but I'm gonna say that I'm gonna save that for off camera. I gotta save something for me, and so yeah. But he probably just be like, he probably also tell me, use your brain, not your male parts. You know, just because you can doesn't
Yeah.
mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You may be single, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right,
Amen. Amen to
all
that.
right,
Fellas, are you listening? Are you
all right.
listening? Okay.
Listen, that's what the Lord would say. Pipe that down. And not the good kind. Pipe that down. Go sit in the corner somewhere before I make you sit down. And the Lord will make you sit down.
He will.
Ask me how I know. Okay. He will make you sit down.
In moments of doubt, what do you tell yourself to keep going?
In moments of doubt, what do I tell myself to keep going? You got this. You've done this before. You've done this before. You have all the tools and everything that you need in order to be successful. The only thing stopping you from being successful is you. Get out of your own way. You know, you always got to add a little extra flair. It's like Son of Christ. Let's move. Let's move. It ain't gonna the ship ain't gonna move unless you do. What are we doing?
What are we doing? What
What
are
are
we
we
doing?
doing?
Move the boat.
What are we doing? Time is ticking. You're gonna be 80 in about 5 minutes. What we doing? And you don't want to get there talking about something. Well, I wish I had, or when I was your age, I could have. No, do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Get up and do it now.
Yeah, do it now. And it's cool. And just being human, we all get lazy. We have long days. Life is hard. Okay, right now life is hard. You got Garfield the cat running the country. Unraveling everything. Like I never thought I would live to see where we would have. Why are we renovating the White House?
Why?
What's the
Why?
reason?
How long you gonna
You know
be
what I'm
there?
saying? It's hard out here. Eggs are expensive, meat is expensive, OnlyFans is expensive. The things are expensive, you know what I mean? The things are expensive. And so it's hard out here. But don't let that be the reason that you don't. Don't let that, and that's for anybody. Don't let that be the reason that you stay complacent. Don't let that be the reason that you allow laziness to become an attribute.
Yeah. Don't stop.
No,
Don't stop.
no,
Just keep
because
going.
some beautiful things can happen when you keep going.
And there's only one way to find out what them beautiful things are.
Only one way to find out, and the ball is in your court yet again. So are you shooting or not? Like these are the conversations that I have with
Yes.
myself. It's like, and once again, you be trying to get everybody else together. Now let me get you together. The ball is in your court yet again. So
Hey,
are you shooting or are you walking off the court? Because I can put you on the bench. And that ain't where you want to be.
that ain't where you want to be. No.
That ain't where you want to be. We've been there, done that, got a t-shirt. Do you want another one? Hello? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these are the pep talks that I have with myself. It's quite entertaining. I think we need a show. Me, them, and us.
Me, this could turn into foolery real quick. I'm not gonna let it.
Hey,
I'm not gonna let it.
oh yes, I'm here for all of it, all of it. And that the name of Mariah Carey's new album, "Here for It All." I'm here for it
Mariah
all.
Carey said, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got.
God, okay. Oh, cues music. But yeah,
Shout out to Mariah.
shout
So
out to Mariah.
if this album, So Without a Heart, could speak to you, what would it say?
Who? I will say this album does speak to me in a slew of ways. It speaks to me in the realm of resilience.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to stay in certain places, but if you're there for a reason and you can tough it out, there's a greater lesson on the other side of that. This album, while I do sing about heartbreak and such, it is an album that is about self love, not just in the physical
Yeah.
form, but in all aspects. You know, when you can, for example, if we take rather be single, you know, if you can get a call from an ex and say, you know, hey babe, I'd rather we stay the way that we are. Like I do not want to repeat that. That's a form of self-love. If we talk about end of my rope, just walking out of a toxic situation is self-love. Be just being able to say on a song like I don't believe in I love you, I deserve more than this than just the bare minimum. We're talking self-love. So I would definitely get those few things out of this album. It would definitely be a reflective something. I would be looking at myself in the mirror, you know, assessing my situation and figuring out what needs to be fixed. Where you know what do we call it, the sandwich method? Like I'm
What
gonna
is the
definitely
sandwich method?
the sandwich method is where like the bread represents like the good stuff,
Uh
right?
huh.
And then your lettuce is like the coating before we get to the meat, which is your area of opportunity. And then we're going to coat it with something good at the end. So it's like, all right, you're a great communicator, you're a great friend, you're an overall good person. However, lettuce, you know, you also while you are this great person, you
Yeah.
also are very mean, or you're also very flaky, or you don't show up when you say you do. You say you're going to do stuff but you don't ever follow through on that.
Mm.
You know, so here's what we're going to do to improve that, and once we improve that, then we can live in the fullness of what we say we are, which is a best all around good person. You have to do those self assessments. That's the only way you're going to get better, and it's okay to ask your peers like I had to do, because I know last year, what was it, October, November, December, I was on the phone with my friends and I was just like, look, I know I'm exhausting as a friend. I know I'm a lot. Where are my areas of opportunity? Why are you connected to me as your friend? Why do you support me? Why are you in my life? You know, we have those real conversations, and like I said, you got to have people in your life that are going to be honest and hold you accountable. If not, it's ineffective. But to answer the whole question, these are things that I want people to get, or what I would get listening to this album, and those are some of the things that I want people to take with them.
Yeah, you have something on there on your album for everybody. Like, there's an experience that somebody had on your album. And I might have had all 17, including the interludes. Okay.
Listen, I've heard stories, and these people are like, yeah, like when you wrote that, like I remember being on drugs, and I remember getting off, and I remember saying I'm never gonna go back. And then you had this one person that's just like, yeah, that man was beating on me, and then I
Yeah.
decided while he was at work, I was gonna pack my stuff and leave and change my number, and I never looked back. And I ran into him, and he was on the street corner. You know what I mean? Like you have these
Yes.
stories, like these are the stories that people are telling me, and I'm just like. And to think I was gonna sit on this and not put this out.
No. And to think
Huh.
somebody wanted you to do something else. You know what I mean? Like, you did what was in your heart, what was in you, what your experiences were, which is basically being true to yourself,
Yeah.
which that's what
If
people tell us to do all the time.
Mary said it at the end of Deep Inside, if I could give you something else, but I can't give you nothing else but me all day and all night. If it was possible for me to give the people something else,
Yeah.
I don't even think that I would, because it would be inauthentic. If I can't be, this has always been my thing, and this is a whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
Throughout the trajectory of me being an artist, I've heard you can't say this because you're a man. You can't feel like this because you're a man. If you write this, this sounds gay. It sounds like a woman wrote it. Why can't you just be comfortable being in the background? Because nobody wants to hear some niggas think about his issues. Like you hear all of this,
Yeah. I can
and those are
imagine.
the discouraging things. And it's like you can't, if we let those things be the reason why we don't, none of us will ever do anything. My thing has always been authenticity. If it can't be authentic, I don't want to do it. We already have Chris Brown. We already have Tamar Braxton. We already have Summer Walker. We already have, you insert the name.
Yeah. We
But
already
what they
got them.
don't have is a me. What they don't have is a you. What you offer is something unique and special. Nobody else can season that meat the way that you do. Nobody else is going to frost that cake the way that you do.
Yeah.
We need that. And I think if more people would tune into who they authentically are, who cares if nobody likes the color pink? You do. Who cares if they don't like glitter? You do. Wear it. The whole world could have on latex and you the only one wearing denim. Wear it.
Wear it.
And wear it because you like it. And that was my reasoning for doing this album the way I did it. I did it because I wanted to tell my story and no one else's. I didn't care if it was too dark, too sad. Didn't care. What did you think about the final product? Is it something you can live with? Can you go to bed at night knowing that if you don't make another record, that you did your big one? Yes. Yeah. It's not about the extra ad libs or the extra harmonies or the things that I hear in my head
Yeah.
when when I listen to it. I'm the creative. I'm supposed to hear those things. But if I can live with what I have, I did a good thing.
This question kind of was already answered, but not fully.
Okay.
When people listen to your music, what do you hope they understand about who you really are?
When people listen to my music, what I hope that they understand about who I really am is that I am the most flawed and imperfect person on this side of life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I give myself grace. I'm a real person living in the real world, and I am a grown man with grown man feelings. And so I didn't know we lived in a time where feelings had genders.
Mm.
But I cry,
Yeah.
I get down, I get sad. I come home some days after work and I wish there was somebody to greet me at the door. Hey, I made dinner. Let me rub your feet. Let me tell you how was your day. You know what I mean? Like I wish there was that person, that was riding shotgun with me, or even a pet, dog, cat, whatever the situation may be. I'm a person. I'm supposed to feel these things. I get horny just like the next man, and I be ready to tear somebody through a wall. You know what I mean? But these are normal reactions of everyday people.
Yeah.
I'm calm and I'm a good time. And I will hug anybody, will love on anybody, and tell anybody that I love them and mean it. But in the same breath, you can get knocked the fuck out because I'm a regular person. I'm a reg I'm a regular person, and these are regular emotions of everyday people. And so when people listen to my music, regardless of what it is, regardless of what the emotion is, I want them to be able to connect with it. If they're not connecting with it, I did something wrong.
Well, you ain't do nothing wrong. So
Listen, I gave them 17 songs, and there was one song, and then I hadn't forgotten about it, but I thought that they did, and they were just like, "You didn't put this one song on there," and I'm like, "Man, all right, well, I'll just have to perform it at my live show or go back in the studio and do it. I don't know." So you may get a deluxe at some point. I don't know.
okay, we're ready.
I don't know. We'll see.
Now before we wrap up, how was it singing with Kelly Price?
Oh my God. When I tell you that was, so let me just say this. The audition process was unlike anything I'd ever experienced.
Huh?
I literally felt like I was on the social media version of Making the Band to some
Wow.
extent. And I say that because individually we had to audition, but then we had to pick our own groups. We had to learn songs by not just Miss Price but the Clark sisters, um and a couple other people, now that I think about it. And we had to learn parts, and we had to sing those songs in front of Miss Price and company. And then when we got down to a certain round, it was like, all right, we got to have one-on-one interviews.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm only gonna call you one time. If you do not pick up that phone when I call, you're eliminated. And so you're literally up around the clock, like waiting on this phone, waiting on this phone call. And so you get in this one-on-one interview, and the first question, after you have your pleasantries, the first question I never forget, she asked me, she was just like, "What's your favorite song by me?" And I said, "Today it's I Still Do." And she's like, "Why that song?" Like, she was stunned because I Still Do is track 17 or track 18 on the Priceless album. It's not a popular song in her
Uh-uh.
catalog, but I know it like the back of my hand. And when I tell you, if y'all have not listened to it, I Still Do by Kelly Price. That song, I will die on this hill. That song takes me through the motions, and I let it every single time. Like, it just, man, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
you have that moment, and then, it's almost like the moment where they send you home. You don't hear anything for 2 or 3 months. And then out of nowhere, in my instance, you're at the grocery store, grocery shopping so you can go home and meal prep for the week. And somebody calls you and they're just like, congratulations. And I'm like, congratulations on what? And it's just like, you got the gig. What gig? The gig selling, singing backgrounds for Kelly. And I'm like,
Huh?
how do you know that? Because I don't even know that. And it's just like, she just announced it on Instagram. And you have this whole fallout moment in Kroger. And then
Wow.
it's just, you meet her in person. I'd already previously met her, but then you really meet her in person and have the sit down one-on-ones and the in-depth conversations that you see the mentors on like The Voice and American Idol
Yeah.
have. And it's just
Yeah.
like, this is somebody's mom. Like, remove the representative that is Kelly Price, the
Huh?
entity that we know, Kelly Price, you know, Little Mahalia, remove that. This is somebody's mother. This is a person. This is someone's sister, someone's aunt, someone's grandmother. This is wisdom here. This is good stuff. This feels like home. And so I don't care what the people say about her on social media. Listen, at the end of the day, she is a genuine person at her core, and I'm not saying that because she's my boss. I'm saying that because I'm a pretty good reader of character. One of the sweetest celebrities you ever want to meet, one of the sweetest people you ever want to meet, will give you her last, and that's not just in wisdom, food, you name it. If you need it and she knows it, she gonna make sure you got it. As long as you show up and you are on time and you know your music, she has no complaints. She
That's
has
dope.
no complaints. And so my thing with the people when they start to, here she go again with it. No. No, 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 no. We're not gonna have that, and I'm not gonna let you do that, especially not in front of me. Like,
No.
that is somebody's mama, daughter, grandmother, aunt. She has the keys, she has the wisdom.
She got the
And you
keys.
and you want
Okay.
that.
What's
You
that
want
song? I
that.
got
You
the
want
keys. The keys.
somebody like a
The keys.
Kelly Price in your back corner. You want somebody like a Kelly Price in your back corner. And like I said, that's not me saying it because that's my boss, but just who she is. You want somebody like that in your back corner. And to add on to that, during a period where nobody was giving me a yes, where everybody was telling me no, where people were like, hang it up, music's not for you, you're not churchy enough, your voice isn't good enough, whatever the case might have been, she gave me a yes when everybody else said no.
Yeah.
So she will always have me in her corner. I don't I have nothing bad to say.
That's dope.
But to answer the original question, I couldn't dream of some of the experiences that I've had being a background singer for Miss Kelly Price. Some of the stuff that I thought I knew, come to find out I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
And then there were things that I was spot on about. But then again, it's also things where it's like, at the end of the day, these are all regular people. These are all regular people. They
Regular
have
folk.
families just like you do.
Like,
They have
it's
families, good days and bad days, just like you do.
yeah, and we hold them to such a high standard, which is
We do.
insane. It's
We do.
insane that we forget that they're human just like us. We could be out here
They are
messing up all
human.
day long.
They are human, just
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah. I think that's
So
dope.
yeah, that has been. I definitely will say the highlight of my 30s.
Yeah.
Being a background singer for Miss Kelly Price, that has definitely been a highlight of my 30s.
That is dope. I'm glad you have that experience
Thank you.
with Miss Price.
Yes, yes, the incomparable, the legendary Miss Kelly Price. So
The
yes,
legend, like she a legend. That's just that.
yeah, she's a legend. How many people do you know that can really say like, I've been mentored by a legend. Like you,
Yeah.
so I'm real humble about it, but in the privacy of my own home, sometimes I have to pinch myself because
Yeah.
it does feel surreal. Because when I auditioned for that competition, in my mind, she had already picked her background singers, number one. But number two, I had quit doing music. Like in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna throw this record out there and y'all can have it. Cause y'all don't want to hear me sing. Y'all like these mumble singers and you can't understand what they singing, what they're saying, and they sing in cursive
I'm sorry.
and they're monotone. Like y'all don't want to hear me. And I'm not churchy enough for y'all. Y'all don't like me. Y'all don't like what I offer. And then you send in this audition tape and you go home and you go to sleep because you hadn't slept in 24 hours plus, and you wake up and it's like, oh, I'm the second person you picked. And then you're going through this competition and it's like, okay, I'm still here. Oh, okay, we made it to the end. All right. Whoa, you picked me.
Yeah.
Huh. Now we're doing shows with John B, Cut Close, Adina Howard, Brownstone, and it's like, that's you. Like, now imagine if you had quit. And so that's why I'm saying this to say to everybody, yes, it is a badge of honor to be a background singer for Miss Kelly Price. But aside from all of that, the bigger picture is whatever it is that you want to do, don't stop just because someone else disagrees. Don't stop because it looks hard. Don't stop because you're afraid. Do it anyway. I will swear by that sermon. Sarah Jakes Roberts. Do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Do it afraid.
Scared,
Yeah.
nervous, unsure, do it anyway. Because it just might work out. And it just might work out and become bigger than anything that you thought it could be. But you won't know that unless you try it.
Do it afraid. Do it scared. Y'all have heard it live. Well, this ain't live, but y'all have heard it.
It's live because we live on camera giving it to the people. So yes, do it anyway. I have keep the faith tattooed on my leg. Just as a reminder, you gotta have faith in anything that you do.
You gotta have
If you
some
want it,
type
you
of
can
faith.
have it.
You
You
have
can
to
have
have
it. You gotta have it. You can have anything in this life that you want. You just gotta have faith the size of a mustard seed, which is literally this big.
real
Can't
small.
even see it.
Can't even see it on the
You just
camera.
gotta believe. If it's real to you, it's real, and it can happen. Make it happen.
Y'all hear that? Don't look at me. Don't look at me. DJ talking. And that ain't me. I ain't say that. He said it. Look at him. Thank
Listen,
you. Look, I appreciate this conversation.
I appreciate you for having me. This was a good conversation. Even the part that got cut off, we were in it. We were in it. Okay.
I will forever be
Goodness.
clumsy. I will forever be this person. I ain't trying to
All right.
change. Okay.
It's all right. Because there is a beauty in that uniqueness. Run it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Run it.
But thank you for joining How You Grieving the podcast, DJ. I want you to
Thank you for
close
having me.
out. I want you to tell people where to get your album, how to get it, what's the name of it, and all that good stuff.
My brand new album, A Soul Without a Heart, is available everywhere that music is sold, and you can stream it on any streaming platform right now. You can also catch up with my vlogs, my music reviews, and other good stuff on my YouTube channel. My tag is DJ the Singer. That's DIIJAI, the Singer, spelled the regular way. And you can find me, or if you just type in DJ, I'm sure I'll pop up on a platform of your choosing. But connect with me. I'm your favorite cousin, your bro, your fam. You love me. And I love y'all. Period. And I love y'all. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. This has been a great conversation. We have to come back and do this again.
Thank you. We'll definitely be back.
We'll definitely be back live next time now that I know that we're in the same city.
All right. Live it is.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm going to hit stop. Oh, that episode was good. I hope you truly enjoyed. I want to thank DJ for sharing his story, his music, and the heart behind the soul without a heart. One thing I took away from this conversation is that life comes at you fast. Sometimes things change without warning, and the decisions we make today can follow us a long time. That's why it's important to move with intention, learn from your experiences, and give yourself the opportunity to grow. So, what I say to you is this: be smart, protect your peace, trust your instincts, take care of yourself and the people around you, and please be safe in these streets. Make sure you stream, purchase, and download A Soul Without a Heart, and continue supporting independent artists who are willing to share their truth. Thank you for spending time with us. I'll see you next Sunday at 11:17 a.m. for another episode of Are You Grieving? Until next time.